Cobra Kai Season 5 was released this last weekend on Netflix, and it is really the biggest season that we've ever had of this show. I'm a big fan of this franchise. I started watching them for the first time actually earlier this year. I binged the first 4 seasons. Absolutely loved it, so I was very excited to get into this one. And it is very, very big in scale. There's not any more episodes, or they're not much longer, but just everything that happens feels a lot more major in comparison to some of the things from the previous series. Really is a lot of positive things about this particular season. In many ways, it's actually my favorite season that we've had the opportunity to see. One of the big things that I loved about this that's made it so much better is Silver himself. He was really the standout for me of the entire season because of how great of a villain he plays. He's just absolutely unlikable, but you can't help but be fascinated when he's on screen, and the way that he's able to work everything and get these characters to kind of hurt themselves and make their own mistakes was so fascinating. He was a phenomenal character. You get to see pieces of what he's able to do in Season 4, but Season 5 just let him go completely loose. Another character that really stood out to me this season was the character of Chosen, who was introduced to us again in Season 3, and we got some fun interactions with him there. He's got a bigger part to play in this particular season, and he does not disappoint. For one thing, he's just funny. It's fun when he's in the scenes, but he's also a really cool and really complicated character, and you get to learn a lot about him as you go through it. So I loved those characters. I loved everything that they brought to the screen. At the same time, another thing that I really loved about this season is that it gave us some of the best duos that we have had in the entire franchise. And I'm talking about characters like Miguel and Robbie, and characters like Johnny and LaRusso, or Johnny and Chosen. These interactions that are either better than they've ever been, or they're new interactions that we haven't really gotten to see in the past, and they made for some of the best duos that the show's ever had, and I look forward to seeing more of these characters interacting in the future just because of how good they were in this season. Once again, this show also has quite a bit of karate action, and it is fantastic as well. I absolutely loved all of the fight scenes. There's almost a little bit less of them in this season, but when they hit, they definitely hit hard. So I very, very much enjoyed that. The season finale of this show is probably the best season finale that we've had since the school fight in Season 2. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, there are a few things that I didn't love about this season in particular. They're not really negative things, it's just that they went a different route with this season. It was a little bit larger, and that brought with it some positives, and it also brings with it a few negatives. One of those negatives is that there are so many characters that some of the characters kind of get sidelined in this season, and even really all of the characters you don't get to spend nearly as much time with as you would like, because you're jumping around the different stories and you're experiencing all of these other characters. Now again, that's not really a bad thing. It just means they're telling bigger stories. It kind of reminds me of the idea of an Avengers movie compared to an individual superhero film. You love the Avengers movies, but you have to acknowledge that when it's bigger, when there's more characters, you're not going to get nearly as much with the individuals. Another thing that I also didn't love nearly as much about this season is that when you have so many characters and their different stories happening, we lost a little bit more of that connection that we see in some of the earlier seasons between sensei and student. It's not this continual senseis training students that we got in the other seasons. It's more divided. And so you lose that, but you gain so much more in the students and the senseis working together, and the connections that they have there. Another thing that's kind of negative about this one is that it actually is a little bit less clean than some of the previous seasons have been. Now, not in any significantly horrible way, but you do have a little bit more swearing in this one, particularly uses of the F word. There are several uses of it throughout the season, and so you do have to watch out for that. You also have plenty of action, as all the seasons have, but there are some moments in the finale in particular that get a little bit more gory and bloody than what we've seen in previous Cobra Kai seasons, so that's something that you may want to watch out for. But anyways, guys, that's really the whole thing. It's something that I think the majority of people are going to be able to enjoy. The majority of ages are going to be able to watch. I think it was a very, very good season. I'm going to go ahead and give it an Guys, have you had the opportunity to see this new season of Cobra Kai? If you have, let us know in the comments what you thought. Be sure to look forward to more reviews coming in the future. If you're looking for more Cobra Kai content, you can check out my ranking of the 5 seasons, as well as my ranking coming soon of the favorite characters in the franchise. But Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.